Hello RC people, just wanted to give a few updates on some new gear that I got I'm pretty excited about. So this is the TRX-4M Bronco in its current configuration. Last things that I changed were I put these new Baja Pro X wheels, or tires I should say, on the stock wheels on the car, and I also put in changed out the transmission completely with the slow crawl gear transmission, complete with the motor and everything. So this, I have not verified it myself, but I'm pretty sure that this comes with bearings installed from the factory, whereas the factory transmission comes with bushings. So this doesn't really need new bearings. That's to segue into the fact that I ordered and received a bunch of parts, as you'll see, but I received my bearing kit from Little Guy Racing Parts today. Completely forgot that I had ordered it and gotten the Traxxas kit from my local hobby shop. So I've got extra bearings, that's totally fine. What I'll do is I'll leave these bearings in here, and I've also got my stock transmission, which I will probably replace the bearings inside. Going from there, I had an issue with, and you'll see from my previous video, where the drive shaft actually broke. So it was the front drive shaft. This male end broke from driving it the other day. So I went to the store and got a replacement for those. I might go ahead and just switch these out completely. I'm not really sure yet, but I'd like to keep a couple of these drive shafts on hand, considering for me and the way I drive, they probably should be considered a consumable. So I'll probably keep some of those. But let's just go through what I have here on the shelf. So I'm very excited about it. So first thing, Furitech ESC. I've always wanted to change out the ESC and put an external receiver on this machine, and I am going to use one of these, the SR13 from Spectrum, or on the shelf over here I have the SR515. It just has more channels I can use on the receiver itself. I've also got waiting a BEC, which I can use as well. But let's just go through the parts I have here now, and we'll get to some of the other stuff later. So that's the ESC. This will give me more configurability, and the extra receiver will let me use it with my Spectrum controller, my transmitter. Super excited about that. I already talked about the bearings, so I'll be putting those in. I might just do it all at once at some point and replace every bushing I can find in here with bearings, and I'll have a little bit extra. Also have a metal servo mount from Little Guy Racing Parts, and starting to add some brass here. So have these steering knuckles from Little Guy Racing Parts, which looks super nice. So really excited to put those on. And before I get into this part, I do want to say that I have an order coming in from Endura that probably won't get here for another week or so. We'll see. But that's got all kinds of extra goodies for this car. New servos, brass steering links, new high clearance links. So it'll get a big hardware update pretty soon. Going from there, this is what I'm really excited about. So I got a shipment in from Mofo RC. This is the 50 size Torque Beast. This is for an SCX24 build that I'm going to do with the Endura buggy chassis that comes in soon. But for the TRX-4M specifically, I've got these two guys here. So on the right side is the big block, sized for TRX-4M. It's got the pinion already pressed on there, and it has this wire already on here. In their video on YouTube, it said you'd have to redo the harness, so I'll probably have to figure out an adapter or something here. No big deal. And then we have the BAM brushless motor, 4100 kV. So my intention here is to, since I have the two transmissions, I'm going to have one that is more of my sort of high-end crawling transmission, and have the other one be my trailing transmission that's capable of higher speeds. Now, the fact that I've got Mofo motors, both of these are actually known for having good response on both the low end and high end, speed-wise. But I think for the crawling side of things, I'd like to take this and turn it into a brushless setup, so that low response will be very, very smooth. And then on the other transmission, which has the stock gearing, good for trailing, I'll make it use the big block. So just wanted to have these motors out here. You can see a comparison quite a bit. So good haul today. Got more stuff coming in from Injora and Trial as well, now that I think about it. But excited to get these parts in and get some crawling in. All right, so we are going to start things off. First, we'll put in the steering knuckles. I've got my bearings out so I can replace any of the bearings for the knuckles as needed. I'm just going to take the approach of replacing these as I go before I do a full teardown of everything. I'm going to get more parts soon, so I'll have to tear it down the road anyway. For now, we're going to start with putting these steering knuckles in. Okay, so we got the 4M sitting pretty with the new steering knuckles. Next thing I want to do is mess around with our new motors. So, oh, there goes the charger. What I'm going to do is just replace the stock motors on both of these transmissions. So on the right side is going to be my crawl transmission, and on the left side is going to be my stock, whatever. It's got the stock gears inside, so I'll just use it whenever I want to have a little bit more punch, a little bit more speed. So what I'm going to change is I will put the big block motor from Mofo RC in replacement of the Titan, and then on the right side another one from Mofo RC. This is the BAM brushless 4100 kV motor. So let's get these motors in here, and on this one, since it's the stock transmission, while I'm in there I'll probably go ahead and change out the bearings as well. A quick update here. Unfortunately, two of the screws on this transmission assembly are totally stripped out, and this is the stock one, so that must have come that way from the factory. So I'm not able to disassemble this to get the big block in there at the moment. I think what I'll do is, I do like the idea of having two different transmissions ready to go, so I'll probably try to order a replacement transmission. If an aftermarket transmission comes out, that'd be great. I think those aren't really available at the moment. I'm sure they will be soon. So I'm going to shelf this for now. If I happen to be at the hobby shop and they have stock transmissions available, or if they have transmission assemblies available, I might get one. But I'm just going to shelf this for the moment and get to this some other time. But that being said, we were able to complete the assembly of the transmission with the brushless motor, and everything fit well, and all the bearings are set, and we should be good to go here. Okay, so we're just looking at trying to lay out my new electronics here. So the first thing I've got here is the new receiver. The old combination ESC and receiver was sitting in this tray, and I think this is a natural spot where we can fit the new receiver. I might reverse it actually. Well, there's no really forward or backwards, but I might flip this around so that it's got easier access for all these ports. And this will stick right on there. You can see on all the Traxxas hardware, they use their own proprietary connectors, but they're all based off of existing connectors. So that means for us, we can just do a quick modification to these and it should fit no problem. So in this case, we just need to shave off this tab there, here, and that should go right in. So for the time being, I do have the Pro scale lighting. I think I'll just leave those unplugged for now, or just plug them in and they won't have any controllable things to them. They'll just get power. So that's how we'll deal with those. Do the same thing for our servo. And then I've got the Lizard Pro here, the brushless ESC. I'm considering mounting it just right on top of our transmission. You'll tell me that if that's a bad idea. I think I might eventually want these maybe closer together over here. I've seen some people mount it to the shock mount over here, these mounting posts. But just looking at the room that I have, this might be what I'll try at first and see if it works. And you know, hopefully I don't find anything. The other thing I'm going to work on, so I don't need to make any motor adapter. If I was using the brushed motor, I would have to make an adapter, but in this case I'm using brushless, and this is made to use brushless by default, so there's no issues there. I do, however, have this adapter that I had made to charge my battery, and in this case I could simply make an adapter with the 2-pin JST-PH connector, and that would plug directly into my ESC. I think I might just do that for now to get things going, but in the future I want to make a smaller version of this adapter so that I can take full advantage of the external BECs that I have and get max power to my steering servo. In this case, I'm still using the stock servo, so it doesn't really matter, which is why I'm going to opt for a simpler adapter at the moment. So here we go. This is our battery adapter. We're just going to be using the power connections, or red and the second black wire here. You see I've got red and blue, but I just basically have to match it up, and then this will go straight to our ESC. So all that's left is to plug everything in and see if everything works. So here we are. We are just now bound up. ESC is working, receiver is working. We have steering. Could probably do some adjustment on our actually it looks pretty good. And we also have, let me get this ESC out of the way. Some really nice slow crawl. It's a little bit jumpy, so I'll have to adjust the settings in the Furatech app to control the throttle on this guy, but look at that. It looks like we've got power to spare too. So everything's working. Let's get this buttoned up and we'll be good to go. So I just did the calibration and a firmware update for the ESC, and just wanted to show you all. This thing's going to be great. So I'll get a chance to take this out tomorrow and hopefully get some good crawling footage and not break anything.